This truck is the result of a Who Could Do It Better challenge. In 2011, there was a big competition taking place at RC Excitement in Fitchburg, Massachusetts. It was a rock crawling challenge. They had various things going on, rock crawling and the slalom course and truck pulling and all kinds of crazy things that they were doing at this event. And the guys at Car Action, right, me and everybody there, we wanted to be a part of it. So we decided to build some trucks. And the whole idea was who could build a better truck, right? You build this and you build that and do your thing, and then we'll come together and we'll see who built the better truck. And well, this is what I built. Quite honestly, I didn't care about the competition at all. I just wanted to build a cool truck. Only downside to this project was the deadline was really tight. Had to get things done in a hurry. And this is, believe it or not, a thrown together project. And I mean thrown together. Just get it done and get it to the event kind of a deal. I'm really pretty happy with how it looks. It doesn't perform that well. I didn't do well at the event, but who cares? It looks cool, and that's what matters. I started the project with a Tamiya Toyota Tundra high lift chassis because it's cool looking. I love the look of the Tundra, and it also had the option for four-wheel steering, and more importantly, it has a 3-speed transmission to give me various gear ratios that I would need for the competition that it was going to be in. Here is a completely stock Toyota Tundra, so you can kind of see what I started with. And this is what I ended with. Something a little bit taller, a little bit more wild, a little bit more unique. With a fast approaching deadline, it would have been wise to do a single color paint job on my truck, but that's not me. You know, I like to do things a little bit different. I don't like to do a single color, although you can do a really good job doing a single color paint job. I wanted something with a little more excitement, and I'm, a big fan of the look of the Monster Energy logo. The drink, not so much. But I wanted to go with the Monster Energy theme. And again, it was a tight deadline, so I had to make something happen quick and get it done. Well, normally when I paint bodies that are injection molded, I take my time, I fill holes, I remove mold lines, I sand and polish, and come out with a pristine paint job. But this time, I just went for it, started painting, hoped for the best. So I masked everything off. I did the green and black and the white. When it came to the logos, it was one of those things where I'm going to do it, and see what happens. I've never did logos on an injection molded body before. So I said, you know what, let's just go for it. If it doesn't work, I sand it all down, spray it one color, call it done. And it ended up coming out really well. After I got all the graphics done, I painted it with a flat clear coat, and I gave it a really cool look. At the time of this build, those LED light bars that you find all over the place weren't really a thing. So I had to come up with my own. And I had this idea to do one with a strip LED that I had laying around. I designed we'll call it a housing, but it's just a chunk of aluminum that I attached the LED strip to. I had my buddy Ed Cable just machine the parts for me real quick to help speed up the process. Painted it black, threw the LEDs in there, and it came out really great. It looks pretty good for a kind of a hobbled together thing. But yeah, now you can get LED light bars all over the place. The original version of this truck had 2.2-inch Proline tires and 2.2-inch beadlog wheels, both from Proline, and that was for the competition itself. But after the competition, RC 4-Wheel Drive contacted me and wanted a review done of their tracks. So I had to put them on a vehicle to do the review, so I picked this one. And I liked the look of them so much I left them on there. I still have the 2.2-inch tires and wheels, but the tracks look way better. I figured that we'd have to maneuver around some really tight corners, so I set the truck up to have four-wheel steering. But I did it a little bit different. I didn't want four-wheel steering happening all the time, so I set it up with two separate servos, and I used the radio and a button to activate the four-wheel steering when I needed it, and then it kept it straight when I didn't need it. I did it with two separate servos. There's one servo mounted in basically the stock location on the chassis, and the other one is mounted directly to the axle with a custom mount that I made. But yeah, four-wheel steering, it didn't really work out. Again, I didn't do well at the competition, and that's mainly because I can't do two things at once. I had to push a button to activate four-wheel steering, and I kept forgetting, and then I forgot to take my finger off, and it was a complete mess. One modification that I made to the chassis was to make a 4-link suspension for the front end. It was just something I came up with really quick. Doesn't really work that well. The geometry is really not right, But, you know, it got the job done. I was out of time. I had my buddy at Cable also make the links for me out of brass to get some weight down low and forward. And Proline coilover shocks take place of the front leaf spring. I went a little crazy with the power system. I went with a Traxxas VXL brushless system. It is way too much for this truck. Just too much power. And it's uncontrollable and it's not smooth in any way, but man, it was cool when I was getting on it in the mud.